Welcome. Today, we're diving deep into the final, really profound verses of Surah Al-Qamar. This is a chapter that takes us on a pretty incredible journey, not just through history, but right into the landscape of the human heart. It reveals the two ultimate destinies that, we are all building moment by moment.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I seek refuge in God from the rejected devil. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful.
And just so you know, the insights we're going to explore together have been beautifully put together by Mir Ali Shah from the Living the Wisdom of the Qur'an podcast. We're just so grateful to be able to share his perspective in this explainer. So, here's the path we're going to take. We'll start with the heart's final destination. Then we'll look at the outer signs in history. From there, we'll dive deep into the inner states of the soul, and we'll see how our destiny is quite literally written. Then, we'll reflect on what this all means for us, and finally, arrive at what the Surah calls the seat of truth.
All right, let's jump right in with the heart's final destination. See, the end of this surah isn't just talking about some event way off in the future. It's actually a powerful unveiling of how our inner world, our choices, our sincerity, our denials, is actively building our ultimate reality, right here, right now.
The surahs already walked us through a series of mirrors, right? Showing us these spiritual failures like arrogance and denial. And now it shifts to the consequences. It's showing us where that road ends, the destination that every single heart is walking toward, whether we're aware of it or not.
And this whole journey leads to two completely different outcomes. On one side, you have the fire. And we're not just talking about a physical place, but an inner state, a state of burning regret, a soul basically imploding on itself. But on the other side, there's the garden, a state of inner spaciousness, clarity, and just this profound peace. The entire chapter really builds to this choice.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this choice, let's first look at the outer, historical meaning. These verses, they were revealed in a very specific context, speaking to the powerful tribes of Makkah, but they hold these timeless lessons for all of us about power and truth.
So you have the Quraysh, right? The powerhouse tribe in Makkah, and they felt invincible. I mean, they looked at their numbers, their wealth, their unity, and they said, there's no way we can lose. We will win. But then, the divine revelation comes down with this swift, decisive answer, basically predicting the total collapse of their perceived strength.
So on this surface level, the message is pretty clear. First, being part of a powerful group doesn't make you immune to the truth. Second, any kind of power that's built on a lie is fragile. It's going to collapse. And third, when that divine command for change comes, it is fast and it is absolute, like the blink of an eye.
Now, let's go deeper. Because this is where the message gets really personal. The Sufi masters, they read these exact same verses, not just as a history lesson, but as a map of our own inner world.
For them, when the Qur'an says their gathering will be defeated, it's not just about an army. It's talking about the inner army of the ego, all the things we rely on instead of God. Our intellect when it's just running wild without guidance, our desires when they have no restraint. These are the false supports that are destined to collapse.
Then the verse points to the hour. And we often think of this as, the end of the world, this huge cosmic event. But in this inner reading, it means something much, much more intimate and immediate.
And this right here is a total game changer. The great mystic Ibn Arabi explains that before the huge cosmic hour, there's a smaller inner hour. This is your personal moment of truth. It's that moment when the veils of self-deception just lift, and you see yourself with an undeniable, inescapable clarity. It's a moment of profound and, yes, sometimes painful self-awareness.
And this moment of inner truth, it leads us directly to the idea of accountability. The Surah talks about everything being written down, but again, the inner meaning goes so much deeper than just a simple ledger of good and bad deeds. So you read these verses, everything they did is in the records. Every small and great deed is written down. And yeah, it can sound a little bit like we're under constant surveillance, but the spiritual masters ask us to look at it in a totally different way. And here's the amazing insight from the great scholar al-Ghazali. He says, hold on, this isn't about surveillance. We are the ones doing the writing. Every single choice, every habit, every thought, it's like we're inscribing it onto the tablet of our own heart. So the day of judgment isn't some external trial. It's simply the day our own book is opened for us to read. Our destiny is literally the story we have written ourselves.
And this helps us understand what that state of Saqar, or the fire, really is.
It's the inner reality of being trapped in a cycle that you created, a state of burning regret. And what's really fascinating is that in the Abjad system, the numerical value of the letters in the word Saqar adds up to 360, which then reduces to 9, a number that symbolizes a completed closed circle. The soul is just trapped in its own self-made reality.
So, what do we do with all this? This isn't just theory, right? The Surah isn't leaving us with abstract ideas. It's basically inviting us to hold up a mirror to our own souls. So, let's start with a question for ourselves. What are the gatherings in my own heart? What am I really relying on? My ego? My public image? Just constant distraction? What am I leaning on that would totally collapse if it was confronted with the truth?
And then, think about this. What is my inner hour trying to show me lately? In those quiet moments, is there a truth that's trying to surface? A veil of illusion that's getting a little thinner? A consequence of my actions that's gently, or maybe not so gently, making itself known?
And really, it all boils down to this one simple question. With every single repeated choice I make today, what am I writing on my heart? Am I writing fire, or am I cultivating a garden? Am I inscribing chaos, or am I inscribing peace?
Okay, let's bring this all home and see how this all builds to the Surah's beautiful conclusion. Because after this really intense journey through denial and accountability, we get this amazing invitation to a place of profound peace and authenticity.
It's pretty amazing when you step back and look at the whole Surah's structure. You see this clear path. It opens with a rupture, the splitting of the moon, which is like the symbol for the start of an awakening. It moves through the storms of arrogance and the blindness of disorder, and it all culminates right here, in this final unveiling of the two destinies. It's a journey from a split to a seat of truth.
And so that's where we land. The final verse describes the mindful as being in a seat of truth with a sovereign king, the all-powerful. This isn't just a physical place, it's a state of being. It's a heart that has finally aligned itself with sincerity and reality, and it finds its rest. The message is both so gentle but also unyielding. You are the architect of your soul's home. So choose to build a garden. Choose consciously.